take on oil for the rest of 2022?
I think we got another 50% move at least.
Wow.
So you're talking like it's 110 a barrel West Texas Intermediate, something like that. I'm not sure the exact price. I figure we got another $50, $60 probably easily. Your main problem is you really have two issues. You have politics, which is kind of governments are turning their back on fossil fuels because they're worried about destroying the earth and global warming, and that's kind of carbon and all that stuff. And then on top of that, you have an industry that hasn't really invested in their infrastructure in well over 10 years. So even if you have a massive capex, like huge spending on building refineries and everything, you're just not going to be able to pump it anyway. And even like last week, despite all the talk, the Biden administration blocked over 1,000 oil leases in Alaska. So that's clearly saying you're really not worried about oil prices going up.
Okay.
So that's the way I look.
So are you going to hold? Oil, it usually spikes in times of like today,
Crisis.
like when we have crisis, we have things like that, but then it scoops back down.
Right.
Because guess what? Midterm election, the big thing that's going to be on the board is get those gas prices down. We got to get these oil prices down. Then the oil prices get coming down.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm scared to hold
Right.
on.
Well, I
I'm
think you're hearing people say that out loud, but that's not what the actions are doing. I don't see any actions of any political body right now to try to lower oil prices. They're not doing it at all. They may say they're trying to do it, but they're not really doing it. They're just doing pittance things here on the end. I would look at a couple of things to worry about. Oil, even though it jumps with crises, is also, more than anything, more than supply and demand, is very recession conscious. So if it looks like we're going to go into a major recession, which I don't think we are, in fact, I think the recession is behind us, or at least the economic slowdown was behind us more than in front of us at this point. The oil prices, if there's a perception that there's a big recession coming, oil prices will tail off. The other thing is the midterm election.
So you
have
said
a
that
big change.
if the market sense a recession, you think we're going to see a market sell-off? I mean,
You're going to see a temporary easing because they're going to say, in a recession, there's going to be less demand because people aren't going to travel as much. Businesses aren't going to, ship as many goods. Amazon's not going to do as many deliveries, all that kind of stuff. That's kind of the old-fashioned thinking behind it. Maybe it doesn't really apply, but I see, like, where did oil get a little weak recently? When China locked down Shanghai, when there was lockdowns in China, and they were saying it was suppressing energy demand because they were shutting down everything. I don't think that's sustainable. I don't think they're going to do that. I think it didn't work anyway. I don't know why they're trying to still do it. It's basically been proven that lockdowns were a failure. If there's one thing we learned from COVID is lockdowns don't work. And so I think that would be something that would hurt. The other thing is if we have a huge Republican sweep in the midterms, and I mean massive, and on top of them winning, they actually do something, which is the tricky part, and they focus on spurring oil discovery back in the United States like we had during the Trump administration. I have a feeling even if they win, that's going to. I don't have enough faith in them at this point to think they're really going to do anything if they win. But it's shaping up. It looks like it's going to be a pretty resounding. The Republicans are going to look really strong in the midterms, I think, no matter what happens.
Okay, what do you think about inflation? Inflation, CPI report was at 8.3%. What do you think about it? Do you think it's going to have a big effect on the market?
I think inflation, the genie got out of the bottle, and the Fed is trying to catch up. Now, they keep talking like, nothing is linear. It doesn't go straight up. It kind of